both sides. So you all protected up here. From here, all this, and on your back. So the only thing with this, it does get hot. It does get hot and you will sweat. So I recommend getting one if we get to that point. Having one on hand, even if you're going hunting, put one on, because I mean, if you were doing, you know, out and about and you didn't know there was another hunter, you know, little ways down, and you guys cross, you know, get accidentally shot, protection. This will protect you. So and then I recommend, if you're bugging out or even if you're bugging in, get a tactical belt, because then you can attach all your gear onto your tactical belt. And then with your tactical belt, you can attach that, and you can also get belt holders to hold it to your inner belt. So then you could, you know, have everything attached. I haven't set up my belt yet, but I just, you know. Now with the revolver, I like cross draw, because over here I gotta pull up and then out, but here I could just like that. You know, I find it faster that way of doing a draw. Remember, it's empty. It's all cleared. There's nothing in this. So, but yeah, so, and then, you know, be ready to, you know, if you gotta, be able to fire. Remember, always keep your finger off the trigger until you're ready to fire. I find it easier to cross draw, especially with a revolver, because I find it's easier like that. I can just be able to release the strap with my thumb, and then up and out. So, if you're bugging out, okay? If you're bugging out, and depending on how much people you have in your group, if there's two of you, so one sleeps and one is up. Take turns, okay? Because you don't want to be both sleeping and not having one for security. If there's, you know, 4 of you, 2 are up, 2 sleep. 2 up, 2 sleep at night. Take turns. Okay? Because 2 is better than 1, 3 is better than 2, 4 is better than, you know, 3, and so on and so forth. If there's 8 of you, 4 up, 4 asleep. Because then you could break up. You could, you know, 4 of you on that side, 4 of you on this side, or 2 here, 2 there, you know. Break everyone up, and then you can get more coverage of the perimeter that you guys make in your base camp. With that being said, comms, communications. So this is a Bofing radios. Really good radio, very cheap. You can get these online over at like Amazon for like $30 for one. Sometimes you can find them for like 20, and then sometimes you can find like a package deal for 60 or 80, sometimes 200, depending on how many radios are in the package. they're a multi-band radio. They cover a bunch of different frequencies. So this one I actually have set up with a, I'm going to pronounce it wrong, hopefully not, Nagoya antenna. So it takes your little rubber duck antenna, you take that off, you put this on, and it's a little whip antenna. So this way you can get a little further communication, better reception. Because remember, these radios are line of sight. They're not going to go that far. You could probably get 2-3 miles out of them. But this versus, radios you can buy at Walmart or Sportsman's or any of those other box stores. You can get more frequencies with it, so you can listen into more channels. Like I can tune into Weather Channel. I know a lot of the other GMRS radios have the Weather Channel programmed in, but you can also access other things that you're not technically supposed to access, but you can have it there to listen into. So I have a few of these radios for a group. Okay. Another thing, along with the radios, I recommend getting a weather radio that you can have plugged in at all times. And then scanners. This here is a little Radio Shack handheld scanner. So this is portable, and you can listen into police, fire, EMS, marine, aircraft. Whatever. This one goes up to, I think, the 800 megahertz. So anywhere from all the way up to 800 megahertz, you can listen in on this one. So this scanner is handheld. I also have the desktop scanner. It's got things where you can mount it into a car. This one covers same like that, but a lot more. It's even got a spot where you can get a GPS device, so it'll get all the information to where your location is at that time. This one is the Uinden Bearcat Trunk Tracker BCD 996 XT. So, having the scanner set up, you can hear everything that's going on, right? Which in times of need, in that emergency, you want to know what's going on, where it's going on, how close everything is to you, what is all around you happening. So information is key to survival. So if you can get all that information, and you can be able to know what's going on, so you can avoid certain areas and make sure that you're safe, I recommend doing all that. Okay? Then when it comes to, what if we have an EMP, electromagnetic pulse? If we have an EMP, a lot of this stuff won't work. But there's things that you can do to protect your electronics from that. So, as you see, I got 2 ammo cases. One ammo case has my stuff for my firearm. And this one doesn't have anything in it right now. But if you can see, I took the rubber gasket out and I put tinfoil in there. And there's cardboard in there. Basically, what you have here is a Faraday cage. So basically, what a Faraday cage is, you can put that's a small one that I have. So I can fit my radios in there and whatnot. And that's it. So Faraday cage, we have an EMP. The EMP will it won't penetrate the box. It'll make the electronic pulse go around the box, and it won't be able to go in the box. So having that with once you take the rubber seal out and then put it with tin foil and close it down, now you have a complete seal. So your box is completely sealed off from an EMP. So that will protect your electronics. I've actually tested this box with a cell phone. I put my cell phone in there, and I had my wife's phone, and I called my phone. I called my phone twice. I did it the first time when the box was open, and rang, whatnot. Closed the box, sealed it down. I didn't hear anything ringing. There's no noise coming from the box. So I opened up the box, and sure enough, it didn't even register that there was a missed call. It even told me that I had no service. The screen was like, no service. So it works. It actually works because it was able to, that signal is not able to penetrate. It's the same thing with an electric magnetic pulse. It will not penetrate that box. With that being said, if you're out and about and you're bugging out, also I recommend having binoculars. If I can open the box. I have two. So this is a pretty big one that I have. I forget the actual, it's a 10 by 50. And then I have a little smaller one so I could fit it in my, pocket. And this one is a 7 by 20. So not as strong as those, but it's a little smaller, compact one. Works just fine. And the reason I recommend having binoculars is because, well, obviously you can see further distances, right? And bug out scenario, you want to be able to outlook your surrounding area, knowing what's all around, okay? Because just being in a little corner, okay, we're bugging out. What's that way and what's that way? You need to know these things, because if you don't know what's to your left and what's to your right, you could be sitting in a trap. Something could trap you. Whether it be you're bugging out because we're having, bad weather and it's just creating chaos in the streets. So people are, out because everything flooded. And they know that you have that food. They can see that you got that food. They're going to want that food. So they're going to be looking for you. So if you're not aware of what's to your left and what's to your right, and, to the front and to the back, you could possibly be sitting in a trap. You don't want to be sitting in a trap. That's why, another reason why of having a self-defense weapon, such as my 44. Okay? You need to be able to protect yourself and your family. You're bugging out, you're probably going to be with your family. Do yourself a favor, get a weapon that you can defend yourself and your family with. Not only that, if you're out in the wilderness and you run out of food, how are you going to get food? Are you going to become like the cityfied people that are no longer cityfied, because now they're all going to be running amok in the street looking for food any which way they can, and they're going to be ransacking houses looking for food. Well, you have rifle, you have handgun. You're out in the wilderness bugging out. Learn how to use it and hunt. Also, if you're near water, guaranteed there's going to be fishes. So get a fishing pole and then you can fish. And then you can be more self-sufficient, unlike the people in the city that are Oh, what do I do? Oh, what do I do? I'm starving. I need food. Oh, there's a house there. Or you get to the house. Oh, they don't have food. Oh, break into another house. That's how, it's going to be a vicious cycle. And you know it's coming. You know it's coming. It's getting to the point where right now our country is just so divided on everything, and between our political system and the way it is, and how everybody's just divided in this country. The other thing is, look at the weather. The weather is just crazy right now. It's crazy. It's raining in places that normally doesn't rain, and like where I'm at, we still got snow in the mountains. Usually by this time of the year, the snow's melted off, and we already had spring runoff, okay? And normally this time of the year, the rain has stopped because we're more desert area, okay? So we normally don't get rain in the summertime. And we're getting rain. We've been getting rain every day. We're going to be seeing floods down here, because we don't get rain in the summer. There's still a bunch of snow packed up in the mountains. It is what it is. So, lighting, you're going to want to get yourselves lanterns, candles. They sell liquid candles in emergency preparedness shops that can burn for like 100 hours and whatnot like that. I've showed this in the other video, but rope is a really good thing to have, especially if you're out in the wilderness. One thing that you want to do with this is hang stuff away from your camping area, not away from it where other people are going to be like, oh, hey, they got food, but far enough away where you can keep your eye on it, but also far enough away where a bear is not going to come into your campground. And then that's the other thing. When you have food, do not keep your food in the tent. If you're using a tent, or even if you're using an RV, don't keep the food where you're sleeping, because a bear could make its way in there, and you don't want to be face to face with a bear. And if that happens, it's another reason why you need one of these. Oh, it's inhumane. I forgot. We live in a day and age where it's inhumane. You let the bear, attack you, right? Is that what, type of world we live in now? Oh. And then these little zip ties, always good to have, because you can you can tie up your tarps with these. Bunch of different things that you could just quickly tie up with these. A very good item to have in preparedness. Same thing with stuff like this for chopping wood and whatnot. Okay. Also, in emergency situations, you want to have a plan. You want to get with your family or your group, whichever you have. So when it comes to the communication,